Day 24 of our Jewels of Wisdom from the Shrimad Bhagwatam. And today's katha is of Ajamil. So once there was a very pious, very religious Brahmin. Every day he would religiously do his puja, his part. He would read the Vedas, he would recite the Shastras, he would do everything that is prescribed as Nitya Karma every single day. Everyone in the village knew him as being very virtuous. He lived in this village with his wife, who was also very pious and very holy. One day, while he was walking in the forest, unfortunately, he happened to come across a couple. And the couple was engaged in a very amorous position. The man was a merchant from the village, and the woman was a call girl who used to sell her services. Now, just seeing this sight of the two engaged in lustful activities, it triggered a vasana in the Brahmin. Deep within his antakaran, that vasana had become dormant. But just the sight of that, it triggered it, and his mind simply got hijacked. He came home, he tried all kinds of things to get this sight and this thought out of his mind, but his mind had already got attached to it. The energy of the vasana would not allow the mind to obey. The mind decided it wanted to keep thinking of that sight. This one desire would be enough to trigger his slide into Patan. He could not stop. Days and days he tried, but he could not stop thinking of that woman. So in spite of having a very loving, pious, beautiful wife at home, this gentleman decided to go and visit that same woman every night. He started drinking alcohol. He started buying her gifts. And unfortunately, soon enough, he threw his wife out of the house and brought that call girl into his home. Now, in the kusang of this woman, bad company of this woman, he started committing all kinds of immoral acts. The patan had started. And of course, it's obvious, all his sadhanas that he was doing for years and years and years simply disappeared. He gave them all up. So his name was Ajamil. Aja means unborn. What is unborn? Atma is unborn. Paramatma is unborn. And Amil, not merged. Ajamil was not merged with Paramatma, means he was an ignorant person. Soon, Ajamil and the woman had a baby. One day, one Mahatma came to the village and he asked around who is the most virtuous, the most religious, the most wise person in this village. So some of the village people wanted to play a trick, do some mischief like a prank. So they sent the Mahatma to Ajamil's house because they wanted to see what would happen. Ajamil came into the house. The Mahatma came into the house. Ajamil had gone out. As soon as the woman opened the door, the Mahatma, who was quite evolved spiritually, had one look at her. And immediately the whole story of this house came as a flash into his mind. He immediately realized who this person could be, but he also saw a small baby in the corner playing, small. he asked the woman, what is the name of this child? So she said, he hasn't been named as yet. He doesn't even have a name because no Mahatma has come to our house before this. And without the Mahatma, we can't do a naming ceremony. So this baby has not been named. You are the first Mahatma who has come to our house. So can you please give a name to this baby? Mahatma was surprised to see this whole situation, yet he didn't lose his poise. He didn't have any dvesh against them. He had compassion. So what he said is, okay, I will name your child. And after thinking a little bit, he named the child Narayan. Narayan. Narayan, you know, is Bhagwan Vishnu. What happens to Ajamil? What happens to the child? What happens is the rest of the story, which I'm not going to tell you today. I will continue this story tomorrow because I want to emphasize a bit of learning from this, just this part. Each one of us has strong vasanas, all kinds of vasanas. Vasana means a desire energy. And from previous lifetimes, it's there within us. Sometimes it's dormant, but if there is any outside trigger, stimulus, it can get activated. And when it gets activated and attention is paid to that energy, to that thought, to that desire, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. It snowballs. And then we get so attached to it that we cannot then think straight. Our buddhi will not work. Our sadhanas will fail. Everything will fail. So any vasana, it could be any vasana, but you know that lust is an extremely strong vasana and can override all sense of rational thinking. The Shastras therefore tell us, be careful what stimulus you allow to get into your five senses. Because any of the five senses can bring some stimulus into your antakaran and trigger a vasana which has remained dormant for the earlier part of your life. Therefore, be in satsang. Do not be in kusang. Because all it needed was one trigger, one sight, one moment to trigger one vasana, and his entire life would go haywire. So Ajamil's story continues in a little while. A little while means tomorrow. But keep that in mind. Let's chant to Mata.